Koholo Yahweh Bashum Yahusha Bashum Rakach Wadash, the monster of the apostles, the monster of the elders at Great Millstone, who well taught his truth. Much respect to you brothers out there, to preach his word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Tabernacle David, hopeful elect, and the speckled bird. I want to say shalom. All right, this is just a Apostle Tahar has been calling the nigger woman a hyena lately. All right. And when you look at it in a spiritual lens, why is he saying that? Look at the dynamic between, as I written right here to Chat GPT. What is the dynamic between a male hyena and a female hyena? Now, I already knew this, but for those that do not know, all right, we gonna read a little bit about this, right? And this should show you, in the spiritual aspect of why, just another reason why you would call the nigger woman a hyena. Now, if you're a righteous woman striving to be, if you're a woman that's striving to be righteous, right? It's trying to make your calling and election sure in a rightful manner, not trying to compass some men. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing as a woman should within this walk. This should not offend you, but a hit dog hollers, right? So if this does offend you, you need to check your spirit. We're mainly talking about these women out here in the world, these 2/3, these niggas, man, right? This is who we mainly focus on, right? Because there's a few sisters out there that's, trying their best, right? But for the niggas, all right, this is who we getting on. It's just like us getting on you Jakes out there, man, right? They get offended, they get all mad, and rightfully so, but because you're in that effeminate state. But anyways, getting back to it, for those that don't know, we're gonna read a little bit of this. First, I'm gonna get this scripture, and then I'm gonna get to answer on Chat GPT. This is Jeremiah 31 and verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O black backsliding daughter? For the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua had created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. And under Esau Edom's kingdom, under his rulership, he has put the woman above the man. And he knows this, right? And, I was listening to one of the brothers' videos today. And he was going in. The nigger woman is a weapon, man. She has done so much. Apostle Rakal Slakia, right? The nigger woman is a weapon. She has caused so much damage, right? You got these men out here being effeminate, weak, right? Some of them may even be mighty, man, but emotionally, they're weak. And that's by design of Esau Edom's kingdom, to keep us down, right? And if you have your father in your life and he was, doing his best that he could, he may not be in this truth, like my father, some other brothers' fathers, may not be in this truth. But hey, the water Yahweh Shemel Shah for having a father in your life, man, to balance you out, most definitely. Because hey, these women is raising up sissies out here, man. But anyways, getting back to it, what is the dynamic between a male hyena and a female hyena? The dynamic between a male and female spotted hyenas, the most well-studied species of a hyena, is pretty fascinating and quite unusual in the animal kingdom. And we're going to read why, right? Here are the key aspects of their dynamic. One, the females are dominant. Then we read in Jeremiah that a woman shall compass a man. A man is supposed to be dominant. A man is supposed to be dominating. All right, Gorilla Hebrew. Slacky. Slacky. All right, but hey, that's the type of men that is being produced here in Babylon the Great. All right. Spotted hyena societies are matriarchal, meaning females are dominant over males, right? And Apostle Tahar, in one of his videos from the other day, he said, hey, the male, lions are beautiful animals, man. The hyenas are ugly. He said, you see a hyena, Slag, you see a lion, a male lion, that's majestic, man. That's kingship, the woman lioness are beautiful. The cubs are beautiful. But he said, he said the hyenas, they all ugly, man. The cubs are ugly. and we seen even within their spirit how the Lord set them up, right? To where the woman is above the man in their society. You see that? And for those that don't know, all right, even you look at their private parts, right? The female private parts are more men-like, all right? So it's kind of hard for them to mate. And we'll get into that down here. It's hard for them to mate. So that's even worse, right? So we read a little bit of this. Let's see. Even the lowest ranking female is usually dominant over the highest ranking male. You see that? Right? The scriptures speak of, giving your ways into a woman, that destroyeth kings, just roughly paraphrasing, right? In this society, you're supposed to be dominant, but Jake has given power to his a woman, and she has put him in a low position. And that's under the guidelines and the spirit of Esau Edom in this kingdom, right? Let's see. The dominance is expressed through behavior, access to food, mating opportunities, and overall social power. All right. Number 2, females are larger and more aggressive. Ain't we seeing that with the nigga woman today? Right? Apostle Ricard was going into how the majority of nigga women, they're overweight. They got bad attitudes. We're seeing that our women is as hyenas. They're not as lioness, right? They're as hyenas over here, man. Out of order, right? Out of order. They want to be above the man. They want to do what a man can do, right? They don't want to accept accept consequences, they got that pride on them, man. Anyways, getting back to it, Slakia. Let's see. They also produce higher levels of adrenals, male-like hormones, particularly testosterone. I'm gonna have to look that up, Slakia, which is linked to the dominance and their aggressiveness. Right? Us as men, we have testosterone, right? That's a build up muscle. We're the ones that's to go to war, Salakia, right? Here it is in Babylon, great kingdoms. You see the men and women, right? But in these days, the men is effeminate. They worrying about if they can wear a dress after boot camp, bunch of madness here. But anyways, yes, us as men, we produce testosterone. That's what gives us the dominance. We're supposed to be dominating, right? We're supposed to be laying down the hammer, in the world, out there on the world in war, That's why the Lord has called us to go out there on the highways and byways and preach his word as prophets, as the men of the Lord, because that's our job. And that's a war ground within itself. Right? Let's see. Mating is tricky for females. Slaki, mating is tricky for males. Males, check this. Males must be submissive and patient to gain mating opportunities. What that sound like today? It sound like your modern day simps. All right. This years ago, it was going around. Hey, the black woman is God. You had a whole bunch of Jakes going around saying that. But a lot of them finally woke up and saw that she ain't God, because they kept getting tricked over. And if she was God, why can't she get you out of this captivity, man? Bunch of madness, man. You still got Jake still today, still worshiping the feet of these nigga women, right? But they're going to have to learn the hard way. They still bigging her up. But that's why, you have a huge a mass of Jakes. Some of them are not in his truth, but they're waking up to, hey, this woman ain't right. They going to the women of the other nations or the other tribes, rightfully so, right? Because hey, you as a male, those children are going to come out as Israelites. But here in Babylon the Great, they say, hey, you mix, or you are who your mother is. There's a bunch of madness in this society, man. Right? Females are very selective in their unusual genitalia anatomy, the pseudo penis. You see that? That's what I was talking about earlier. They technically have a penis, right? And we just read that they pretty much have a more male-like testosterone within their bodies, right? Making mating physically difficult. It also gives the female significant control over the process. See that? Sound like gorilla Hebrew. Slocky, man. Slocky, man. I keep on getting on them, but man, it's just so much. Dude's been whatever that one brother, he keeps on going in, exposing them. Saying that hey, he's the one that initiated, the pegging. Slocky. Hate talking about it, but sheesh, man, when you come, it's also showing when you come up against the apostles and the brothers on down, there's Yah Ratazah, we of those men. When you come up against the true man of the Lord, you always get exposed or destroyed, or your reputation, something happens, man. The Lord always gets on these niggas, man. But Slakia, getting back to it, verse Slakia, for males are often leave their children birth clan upon reaching sexual maturity. Males usually immigrate into another clan because they probably get kicked out. But that's usually what happens a lot in some of these other animal worlds, even the lions. The male comes up to age and he's supposed to find his own pride. And with that, he fights the older lion. Sometimes he gets his ass kicked, and sometimes he gets over the older lion, and that pride becomes his. And with that, he ends up killing all the cubs and mating with the females. And thus, hey, he's spreading out his bloodline, because if he lets those cubs live that was before him, right? That's the seed, that's the bloodline of the past lion, man. So that's why they end up killing the cubs, man. But anyways, getting back to it, they often start at the bottom of the social hierarchy in their new group and have to slowly work their way up, especially if they want to earn a female's favor. And once again, what that sound like, man? Sound like these simps out here, right? They doing everything to get her attention, to to go out with her, bunch of madness, man. So, hey, that's why we need the kingdom, right? Because you don't realize it, the man is the prize, and they're gonna find that out the hard way. A lot of them is, right? Shoot, with these tariffs going on, society eventually gonna be collapsing. Hey, you better get down with the program, or lay down and wait for destruction. Motherhood is central to a female's power. Females not only lead the clans, but they also invest heavily in their offsprings, nursing them from up to 18 months, and often showing favoritism to sons who will eventually leave and possibly spread her genes elsewhere. What type of man? Hey, you are whoever your father is. But this this shows that what's the nigga woman doing today, man? She a lot of times they're babying their children, right? They're not when the man is in the house, he can show his children, his men, his boys how to grow up to be men. And this sounds, just looking at it in the spiritual aspect, Hey, you pretty much babying that little nigga. You babying that little nigga. In short, as we read, in short, female hyenas run the show. You see that? They run the show. And males have to play it cool and work for favor and acceptance. It is a total role reversal compared to most other large animals. So it's a spiritual reason and why you would call the nigger woman a hyena, right? Because down here in Babylon the Great, the roles are reversed. But a lot of our people is waking up and they're getting their heads back on straight, man. Right? But hey, for the majority of these women over here in Babylon that's drunk that Babylonian wine, hey, they drunk with their sauce. They thinking that they can do whatever they want, but the Lord's about to put a stop to that, man. As Apostle Ricard was going in today, a lot of Jakes is being deported to Guantanamo Bay. These concentration camps. Right now it's the Northern Kingdom, but he said the homegrown is next, and then he's also talking about, hey, you Jakes as well, right? It's like you Southern Kingdom Jakes, right? Because right now Northern Kingdom Jakes is getting it, but then Southern Kingdom Jakes is going to get it. Northern Kingdom gets it first, Judah gets it worse, right? And this is what we're seeing. This is what eventually is going to transpire, right? And with that happening, that also goes into the famine of the word. But we also got to trust and believe that the Lord's going to take care of us in these last days, give us that protection. And guess what? These women are going to come back in order, right? That hyena behavior, the hyena activity, right? It's not going to be anymore. Hey, matter of fact, when you read Isaiah 3, it talks about them having bald spots, talking about them, smelling. hey, you should want this, man, because you going to get your hair back, Eve. You're not going to be out here stinking anymore, Eve. All right, let's get a couple more scriptures and we'll go ahead and close out. It says Micah 7:10. For the son dishonoreth the father, and the daughter riseth up against her mother. And these are the conditions in which we face here in Babylon the Great, and what some brothers may face in the very near future, right? Some is dealing with that now. You woke up to the truth, and your family don't want to deal with it, man, right? And with the nigger woman, she trying to be the head of the household, You ain't having it. What happens, man? We see out there in the world, right? She ends up having the children turn against you. But we seeing, there's a couple stories out there lately. The children is waking up and they see their mother for who she really is, a damn demon. But anyways, getting back to it. The daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law, a man's enemies are the men of his own house. You see that? And part of that is part of the nigger woman. Part of that is just the times they be coming into, the ways of Esau, Edom. Hey, don't be surprised if there's going to be a bounty upon your head and your family is licking their chops, right? Therefore, I will look unto the Lord Yahweh Bashim El Shah. I will wait for power of my salvation, and the power will hear me. Rejoice not against me, O my enemy, when I fall. I shall arise when I sit in darkness. You see, hey, no matter what happens, even if we get put down in the dirt, man, we gonna arise, man. They put us in the lowest of the low. Hey, we gonna arise, right? The Lord shall be a light unto me, right? The Lord is guiding us, pushing us into the direction in which we should go, the straight and narrow path, whatever we have to deal with. And we pray to the Lord that we get through it, right? This truth ultimately is the light as well, right? Check this. I will bear the indignation of the Lord Yahweh Bashim El Shah, because I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness, right? So you got to bear the indignation of the Lord's righteous anger. We're in this position because we chose death All right, we chose to worship these other guys of wood and stone, and now these women are over us. Now Esau, Edom is over us, so we just got to bear whatever we got to bear, man. Right? But you do that, you endure to the end. Hey, it's gonna be beautiful, man. You got rest coming up to you. Verse 10. Check this. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh thy power? My eyes shall behold her. Now she be trodden down as the mire of the shit of the streets. It's like it, right? That's a shit, man. She's gonna be trodden down, man. All right. So brothers that have a wicked woman upon them, or Eves out there in general that's laughing at you, you know, saying that what you in is madness, man. They're gonna be trying it down. They're gonna be destroyed. They're gonna see the hard way, find out the hard way that we had the truth. And you should have been with this program, man. As we read Isaiah 4:1, in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name and take away our reproach. You see that? So, the times that we coming into, the women are going to get in order. They're not going to be doing all that madness, man, that they doing. They're not going to be acting like hyenas anymore. They're going to play their role. They're going to be like lioness. All right. You're going to be the head honcho, the head lion, and going to have your pick of the litter, man. Right. And if any Eve that don't like it, any woman that don't like it, man, hey, go out there and get trodden down, man. All right. So Yahweh desires an edifying lesson. Abba Babal Shalom.